Cooper Flagg is 19 years old on a bad team with no help, carrying the 26th ranked offense in the league. And he plays every single possession like it matters, both ends, every night.
Record. Here comes Coop, and Coop with ill intentions! And he deserves to flex!
That 49 piece against Charlotte is what really broke my brain. The points were ridiculous, sure, but what got me more were the possessions where he didn't score, the defensive rotations, the motor, the way he competes on every single possession like it's Game 7. We're going to break down exactly what makes his game so different, why scouts are already throwing out comparisons to Kawhi Leonard and Scottie Pippen, and why one stat tells you everything you need to know about his ceiling. And the wildest part, he's only going to get better. But before we get into what Flagg is doing, you need to understand the circumstances he's doing it under, because once you hear this, the numbers hit completely different. Flagg entered his rookie NBA season as one of the most hyped American prospects the league has seen since Zion or LeBron James. Like LeBron, he's lived under a national spotlight since high school, every game watched, every move dissected. So far, the teenager from Maine has lived up to the hype, but getting here wasn't easy. Last season, during his lone year at Duke, Flagg swept the awards circuit, Naismith's Men's College Player of the Year, the whole thing. This season though, before the breakout, before smashing records once held by King James himself, he went through a stretch of adversity he'd never dealt with at any point in his basketball life. Flagg walked into a Dallas locker room that looked like it was loaded with vet experience. 5 players with 10 or more years in the league. At least, that's how it looked on paper. Reality was different. To open his NBA career, the number 1 overall pick was asked to do a lot. With Kyrie Irving sidelined, Dallas entered the season without a true starting point guard or a primary shot creator, and Jason Kidd didn't hesitate. He handed the keys to Cooper Flagg. Kidd had done this before. Back in Milwaukee in 2016, he ran a similar experiment with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Expand a generational talent's vision. Force him to see the game through a playmaker's eyes. Bet that it unlocks an even greater version of him later. The difference? Giannis was 22 years old, entering his 4th professional season when that experiment began. Flagg was 18, the youngest player in the NBA, one of the youngest first-year players the league has ever seen. 1 year of college experience, and he'd never played full-time point guard. Not at Duke, not in high school. And the environment he stepped into didn't exactly make things easier. With Irving out and Dallas leaning into jumbo big lineups, Flagg was often operating in traffic, surrounded by limited shooting. Outside of PJ Washington and Max Christie, the spacing simply wasn't there. Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, D'Angelo Russell, and Najee Marshall all opened the season shooting 35% or below from 3, leaving the Mavericks bottom 3 in the NBA in 3-point accuracy. Through his first 5 NBA games, Flagg averaged 13.4 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 32.2 minutes per night, shooting 45.7% on 2-pointers and 26.7 from 3. Solid for a rookie, but hardly eye-popping, especially compared to the hot starts from fellow rookies like VJ Edgecombe, Dylan Harper, Con Knipple, and others lighting it up early. Then came the injuries. Dallas' second most important long-term building block and fellow Dookie, Derek Lively, went down early. Daniel Gafford missed time. Anthony Davis, he ended up missing more games for Dallas than he actually played. And if Dallas has any sense, Kyrie Irving shouldn't touch the floor this season while rehabbing that ACL, which meant Flagg had to carry all of it. Yeah, there were moments where the load looked like it might be too heavy. Coop is still a teenager in his first year in the NBA, but he never showed it because this kid is a competitive motherfucker. And that's what I love most about him. All season long, Flagg has been a constant on the defensive end. There really hasn't been an off night for him there. He covers an insane amount of ground as an off-ball defender, willingly takes on whatever matchup the scheme demands, and competes possession after possession. Yeah, quicker guards can still give him trouble at the point of attack, that's expected, but as a help defender and rebounder, Flagg has adapted about as well as anyone could have hoped for this early.
On Monday.
Just 6 days shy of his 19th birthday, Cooper Flagg made a play that had no business coming from a teenager. With Dallas trailing the Utah Jazz by 3 in the final minute of the fourth quarter, Flagg attacked the paint, absorbed a heavy body blow from Kyle Filipowski, and still finished a running left-handed layup through contact for his 38th and 39th points. Flagg finished with 42 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, officially becoming the youngest player in NBA history to score 40 points in a game. The previous record belonged to LeBron James, who scored 37 back in December 2003. Flagg scored 40 in regulation, then added 2 of Dallas' 4 points in overtime. Despite his best effort, the Mavericks still lost, and that's been the story far too often this season. Dallas sits in the lottery, fresh off trading Anthony Davis for what amounted to late first or second round picks and expiring contracts. Yeah, the books look cleaner now going forward, but the roster? Comparing this situation to LeBron's rookie year actually makes a lot of sense if you remember who he had to play with. And despite that, James had become the only real reference point for Flagg's offensive production at this age. Flagg, who turned 19 on December 21, broke LeBron's NBA records for the most points and assists in a game by an 18-year-old. LeBron remains the only player to average more points per game at 18, posting 20.2 per game compared to Flagg's 18.8. But here's what makes this even crazier. Talent evaluators didn't expect the scoring to come this fast. Flagg was the consensus top-ranked player in his draft class because of his all-round impact, but the scoring, that was supposed to come later. There was real skepticism about whether he could function as a primary scorer early in his career. Turns out, that concern might have been way off. So when I tell you I'm beyond impressed with how this kid plays basketball, it's because he's putting up these stats under conditions that would break most 19-year-olds. And week after week, he looks like he's getting better.
For Najee Marshall. Against point, PJ's at the table. Cooper Flagg with a two-hand flush. It's a 4-point game, but it's a quick attack.
Coming into the NBA, Flagg expected to be one of those rare number 1 picks who steps into playoff basketball right away. Dallas had just beaten 1.8% lottery odds, and on paper, he was joining a roster featuring multiple veteran future Hall of Famers. That could not have been further from how it actually played out. Despite how disappointing the season has been for the Mavericks, Flagg has earned rave reviews from opposing coaches, scouts, and executives across the league. And once his role stabilised, the production followed. Since shifting back to primarily playing his natural forward position, Flagg has averaged 21.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.4 assists, while shooting 49% from the field over a 41-game stretch. Even Flagg himself has been honest about how difficult the early adjustment was. In November, he said, "I think it's a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility that comes with being a point guard, and I don't know if I was ready for that or if I was ready to handle that right off the bat. I tried my best, it wasn't perfect, but I think I learned a lot through that." And that's the part that sticks with me. Even when it didn't look good, he was absorbing everything. What's really telling is how Flagg registers even when he struggles. Philadelphia head coach Nick Nurse pointed out Flagg's ability to regather his composure throughout games, despite the mental and physical fatigue that comes with heavy minutes and constant responsibility. One Western Conference GM didn't mince words. His greatest strength is his competitiveness. He's a motherfucker. Multiple coaches have echoed the same thing. The effort never changes. Nuggets coach David Adelman said when he doesn't play well, I still really like watching him play because of the way he plays. The intensity, that takes you a long way when you're young. He's got the size, the skill, and the feel for the game. All of that is rare. But the thing people around the league keep circling back to is the competitive character, the wiring. You probably can't quantify competitiveness in a box score, but when a first-year teenager is the only rookie ranking top 3 in his class in total points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals, that tells you everything about the motor, the willingness to impact the game everywhere, the refusal to coast. Adelman nailed it. When he doesn't play well, I still really like watching him play. Flagg is watchable even on bad nights because the effort never drops. The compete level never dips. For a 19-year-old, that's incredibly rare. And that's what separates him from the usual rookie hype cycle. Hot streaks fade, highlight reels get old, but effort, IQ, two-way impact. That stuff translates, and it tends to get better with time. Now that we've talked about why his game is different, let's go to the best performances of his young career so far and put it into proper perspective. Flagg's 49-point night on January 29 was the most by a rookie since Trae Young in 2019. He also became the youngest player in NBA history to record 40-plus points and 10-plus rebounds in a game. And he's the first rookie since Blake Griffin to post a 45-point, 10-rebound performance. That's a historic night by any standard. And the game didn't even start well for Cooper. The Mavericks hosted the red-hot Charlotte Hornets, trying to snap Charlotte's 4-game winning streak. It also doubled as a Rookie of the Year measuring stick, with the two favourites, fellow Blue Devil and top 5 pick Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg facing off for the first time this season. And early on, it looked like Knipple's night. He came out on fire, drilling 4 threes in the first 7 minutes, helping Charlotte explode to a 33-18 lead by the end of the first quarter. But Flagg refused to let it slide. The second quarter was absurd. Flagg poured in 23 points on 8 for 9 shooting, 2 threes from the top of the key, an and one in transition, and a violent dunk over Moussa Diabate. By halftime, he had 25 points, and what was once a blowout had turned into a 1-point game, 59-58. Flagg crossed 30 points early in the third, but Knipple answered with 3 straight triples, pushing Charlotte's lead back to double digits. Then Knipple cooled off. Flagg didn't. He hit 40 points before the third quarter even ended. Dallas finally grabbed the lead early in the fourth after back-to-back threes from Klay Thompson and Caleb Martin to close the third, and another from Thompson to open the fourth. Flagg tied his career high with 42 on a pull-up elbow jumper shortly after. Then came the moment that told you everything. After Flagg scored his 44th point, Charlotte left Klay Thompson open in the corner to double a rookie at the top of the key. Klay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters ever, left wide open so they could send 2 defenders at a 19-year-old. That almost never happens. Think about what that says about how scared Charlotte was of this kid. Like something out of a sports movie. The game came down to the rookies. Flagg tied it at 121 with a 3 and 34 seconds left.
Point. A 3 would tie it. That's what he takes. Are you kidding me? He's got 49.
On the next possession, Knipple picked his pocket and calmly knocked down 2 free throws to retake the lead. Flagg had one last chance, a shot to tie it, a shot to hit 50, but his buzzer beater sailed long through a double team. Even in a loss, he made history. At just 19 years old, Flagg joins LeBron James and Anthony Edwards as one of only 3 players to record multiple 40-point games at that age or younger, on top of already owning the record for most points by a teenager. A Western Conference scouting director summed it up. He's better than advertised, if that's possible. And that's the crazy part. The number 1 pick, the most hyped prospect since Zion or LeBron, and he's still outpacing what people thought he'd be. The 3-point shot is the last piece, and all signs point to it coming. I titled this video, Why I'm Obsessed with How Cooper Flagg Plays Basketball, and I want to be clear about what that means. I'm not obsessed with a 49-point game. I'm not obsessed with broken records. I'm obsessed with a 19-year-old on a bad team with limited help carrying the 26th ranked offense in the league and still playing every possession like it matters. Both ends, every night. That motor, that competitive fire, that two-way intensity. That's what wins championships eventually, and that's what separates Cooper Flagg from every other hype prospect we've seen come through this league. The question isn't whether he's going to be great anymore, it's how great. And honestly, that answer might depend on what Dallas does this offseason, because if they can put even half-decent roster around this kid, the rest of the league should be terrified. So what do you see when you watch Cooper Flagg? Future MVP, elite two-way star, or am I getting ahead of myself? Drop your take in the comments, hit like and hype on the video, and if you like deep dives on players and teams, hit subscribe, and maybe check out one of these videos on your screen now.